Hello everyone, my name is Demetrius Harmon. I'm Harmon Financial Coaching. I help my clients with budgeting, paying off their debt, building wealth, and just increasing their financial literacy as a whole. But today I'm not here to talk to you about money. I'm here to talk to you about one of my other favorite topics to discuss, which is personal development. Let me know in the comment section if you like to hear about this stuff or you just want to hear about money. I'm flexible, just let me know. But I'm going to tell you today anyway about, like I said, one of my favorite topics, personal development. The topic I want to have a discussion with you about today is exposure leads to expansion. That's a saying that I heard, and I just think it's so true. Um, we have to make sure we're surrounding ourselves with the right group of people, making sure that, like, hopefully your family is the right group of people, but if they're not, you have to figure out how you can navigate that, because it can be tricky because your family could be linked to a living situation. But let's say that it's not. You want to surround yourself with the right group of people, the right group of friends, the right family members in your circle. Exposure leads to expansion. That's why you hear people talk about mentorship so much. Mentorship is super helpful because obviously they're coaching you up, they're giving you different assignments to do, but they're also exposing you to different things, because ideally the person who is mentoring you is further along in that particular category, right? So when I talk about exposure leads to expansion, if you know a young man, for example, who's hanging out with the wrong group of friends, please share this video with him, or a young lady, it doesn't matter. You know anybody who's not surrounding themselves with the right group of people, please share this video with them. If I can do what I call MIT for one person, motivate, inspire, and teach. If I can motivate and inspire and teach one person, I've done my job. So I'm going to give you a practical examples about what exposure leads to expansion, what that looks like. So I'm going to go all the way back to when I was in high school. My high school did not require, at that time, they didn't require me to take a foreign language. So me being the kid that I was at that time, I wasn't going all out. I wasn't going to stay up late and study for a test. I wasn't going to do that. So I worked hard when I had to. I'm a totally different person now, but I'm just being transparent. This is who I was as a kid. So I wasn't going to take a foreign language. We had Spanish at that time. A lot of people talked about how hard it was, and I was like, I'm not taking that class. There's no way, right? So if I don't have to take it, why would I take it? Why would I put myself through that, right? This was my mindset of a 17-year-old senior at that time. So fast forward to graduation. 5 weeks after I graduated high school, I went and joined the Army, and I met people from just all over the world. I mean, all over the world, from South America, from Spain, from everywhere, right? And you know what I started doing? I started learning how to speak Spanish. I got around people who could speak Spanish, and I was amazed, and I loved it. So every day I would ask my friends, hey, how do you say this word? How do you say that word? Full disclosure, I am not fluent in Spanish, but I can speak some Spanish. Why? Because I was exposed to it. So it expanded my mind. It expanded the way that I was thinking. Why wouldn't I want to learn how to speak a different language, right? Looking back, I was just dumb. Of course I should want to learn how to speak a different language. That's making yourself better. That's making myself more marketable. That's putting myself in a position where now I have a skill. And guess what you can do with a skill? You can make money off of a skill. But again, I wasn't thinking about stuff like that when I was 17. But that's just an example. So I was exposed to foreign language, and I was exposed to Spanish, and I started learning how to speak Spanish. I started to understand some of the slang, and I started to understand the context and difficult things to learn. But nonetheless, I learned it because I was in that environment. I was exposed to that environment. So the example I always use is this. Let's say you're hanging out with 4 guys and they're all broke. You're going to be the 5th broke guy. You just are. Don't think you're going to reinvent the wheel. Don't think that you're going to be special and say, oh no, that's what they do over there, but I'm going to do something different. You're not. You're not going to do anything different. Not at all. You're going to be just like them, because that is what you're exposed to. You gotta expand your mind. You got to expose yourself to different things. Hang out with 4 guys who are stronger than you and go lift weights with them. Try it. Go lift weights or go running with somebody who is in better shape than you. They're going to kick your butt. Make no mistake about it. But you're going to start to get stronger. You're going to start to be able to run faster. You're going to be able to run longer. You're saying, wait, how come I can bench this? 6 weeks ago I couldn't do it. Because you're lifting weights with people who are stronger than you. You're being exposed to different things. Therefore, it's expanding your way of thinking. It's expanding the way that you typically approach lifting weights. Maybe your approach was, I'm going to do 5 sets of 10 and I'm done. But these guys are coming in and they're doing 20, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, all the way down to 2. And heavy, the lower the reps go, the heavier they're lifting. Maybe that's their format. And you've never thought of that. So now they expose you to something different. Furthermore, you didn't think that you could do, 100 of these bench presses on different weights. But now you're able to do it because they forced you to, they pushed you. And now you're expanding and you're getting better. So when I talk about exposure leads to expansion, do not underestimate this. I've seen this too many times. I'll give you another example. I know people who have left their hometown, right? They left and went to college, or they left and joined the military, or whatever the case may be. And when you talk to them after they left, they're like a totally different person. Totally different person. Why? Because they left their environment. They were exposed to different things. All of a sudden now, you're saying, whoa, this person is super different. Oh, man. You're looking at them because all you can think of is how you remember them. They're not like that anymore because they're gone. They moved out of their zip code. They don't live in that same zip code. They don't live a town over from where they were born at anymore. Now they're in a different time zone. And now they're totally different. They were exposed to different things. So take this time out to really do an inventory of yourself. See where you're at spiritually, physically, mentally, and see if you can get around some different people. For example, like I said, I'm a financial coach. So if you have goals financially, let's say you want to be a big-time realtor, right? You want to be a big-time real estate agent. I would suggest try to link up with somebody. So invite a successful real estate agent to coffee. Buy the coffee for them. Sit down with them. They're going to expose you to some terminology and some different ways of thinking that you've probably never been exposed to. So now when you walk out of that coffee shop, you have just become smarter. That fast, you've become smarter because you've been exposed to something different. So when you're talking about trying to go into a new field, get a mentor. You're trying to take it to the next level. Get a mentor. You need a money mentor. You need a spiritual mentor. You need a business mentor. You need somebody who's been married for 25 years. Pull them to the side and say, hey, can you mentor me? Can you help me? Can you talk to me about communication? What's the secret? Why? Because all those examples, they're going to expose you to different things and different ways of thinking. And now your mind is going to expand. And therefore now you're looking and saying, you know what? I honestly can say I'm getting better. I'm getting better every single day. I'm meeting with my mentor. I'm listening to these podcasts. I'm reading these books. And I just feel like a different person because you are. And that's one of the most important lessons that I tell any young person. Expand your mind. Don't be afraid to try different things. Expose yourself to different environments, different people who think differently than you. And don't be afraid to talk to someone that has a totally different opinion than you. You guys may disagree, but at the same time, it helps you to, again, expand your mind, because I'm going to tell you right now, one of the biggest limitations that people put on themselves is their small way of thinking. They have a very narrow scope. And what happens is, when you have a narrow scope, only so much can get in, right? If I were to tell you that we're gonna open up a big gym, right? And we're gonna open this gym up, and there's only one way in and one way out. We just have this one door. you would immediately look at me and say, who engineered this building, right? Of course you would. You were like, what is going on? Bare minimum. Bare minimum. We need a door that allows us to come in, a door that allows us to go out. Obviously, we're going to have more doors than that because of fire hazards and things of that nature, but you get what I'm saying. If I built the building and only had one way in and one way out, what you're saying is that's not smart. That's not enough room for things to come and go, right? Same way with your mind. Expand your mind. Allow things to come in and out. Figure out what's good. Eat the meat, throw away the bones. Okay, that was some junk. I'm going to throw that out. Oh, that was cool. I'm going to keep that. That's cool. I'm going to keep that. Oh, that's some more junk. I'm going to throw that out. But the only way you're going to get to that is by exposing yourself to that. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to give you one more example. If you look at I'm a big sports guy. So you look at athletes, right? And you'll hear athletes talk about why they chose the school that they went to, and a lot of times you'll hear them say, hey, how come you didn't, you're a New York kid, how come you didn't decide to go to Syracuse, so how come you didn't go to UConn close to home? And that kid will look into the camera, or they're being interviewed, and I'm reading a transcript, they'll say, I just wanted to go somewhere different. Code for I wanted to be exposed to different stuff. That's what that means. They wanted to go. They had to pick of the litter. They could have went to any school they wanted to, but they didn't choose the hometown school. Not because they don't like their hometown. They just wanted to go somewhere different. They wanted to be exposed to different people, a different way of thinking, a different way that people do things. And again, exposure leads to expansion. All right, that is my time. Take care. God bless. And remember, change your mindset, grow your money.